So two couples got engaged in the Ultimatum season 3, Mariah and Caleb, and ARIA and SCOTTY. In the reunion, we see Mariah and Caleb are still happily engaged, but there is a clear shift when we move to the couch where ARIA and SCOTTY is. Now they're actually sitting together, but it's not giving they were engaged. And I think everybody was secretly hoping that they had, at the very least, called off their engagement. And after that whole outburst with ARIA calling out Caleb, I already made a video on that if you want to check that out. I'm thinking, girl, you are too invested in somebody else's relationship to be actually invested in one yourself. It's giving you guys have broken up. And my suspicions were confirmed. ARIA and SCOTTY not only called off their engagement, but they broke up. And what's even more diabolical and actually iconic is that ARIA called off the engagement a day later. Like immediately she knew it was a mistake. And SCOTTY himself was like, yeah, like I kind of felt that she hesitated when she said yes. And ARIA basically says is that she kind of knew that she made an emotional decision, and that basically she acknowledged that, you know, she was desperate for SCOTTY's validation, and he finally gave her that validation. So she just kind of just jumped at the engagement, but didn't really think about the things that they needed to work on their relationship. Now, what's interesting is that they actually stayed together after this, and the whole calling off their engagement was amicable on both sides. Now, this was kind of a surprise to me, just because SCOTTY was very militant. He was very much like, if I don't get this and if I don't get that, I'm not marrying you, period. And SCOTTY was kind of moving like ARIA was going to miss out big time if she didn't fix up so to qualify to being married to him, as if it wasn't him who issued the ultimatum, which was just wild to me. So it's very clear that this was all a projection, and SCOTTY does need ARIA in his life. He was just waiting the long game. So basically they called off the engagement, but they continued to have a relationship and basically were working towards marriage, right? They moved in with each other and they wanted to do things that way, right? Well, they agreed to do things that way. I don't think SCOTTY wanted to do it that way, but he didn't want to lose ARIA, so he agreed. But it seems like things just went from bad to worse and they ended up breaking up. It seems like the issues that we saw on the show were continuing. SCOTTY just being militant, not taking accountability, you know, putting everything on ARIA. ARIA has to prove this, ARIA has to prove that, and he doesn't have to prove anything, refusing to apologize for things. There were also two major incidents that happened during the breakdown of their relationship. One of them being her grandma, who she was very close with, passing away, and the other one being a miscarriage. And this leads me to believe that SCOTTY was not a good partner during that situation. And I think that maybe that was a wake-up call for her to be like, okay, this is enough. I'm tired of this. This is not worth it now. And I feel like deaths and bereavement really put things into perspective. And with the miscarriage, as unfortunate as that was, when she miscarried, she didn't have any ties to SCOTTY anymore. So maybe she took that as a sign to leave. Like, she has no ties. Because if she did have this baby with SCOTTY, she would be tied to SCOTTY for the rest of her life. And even with this pregnancy, I don't know whether it was planned. I don't know whether it was an accident. I don't know whether somebody was plotting, trying to trap somebody. But I can imagine that was a lot. On top of that, it seems like the people in ARIA's life do not like SCOTTY. Her siblings have basically been shading SCOTTY in their comment sections, basically saying, you know, liking comments about people saying that they hate SCOTTY. So it seems like the family did not like SCOTTY and were probably encouraging ARIA every day to break up with him, because I certainly would if I was her sibling or her friend. And one thing I forgot to mention is the fact that after that whole segment, ARIA is talking about her grandma passing away and her miscarriage. Nick is basically like, oh yes, thank you for being raw and honest with us, but let's lighten up the mood now. Huh? Nick and Vanessa are just so crazy, unhinged, and so unprofessional. And just downright disgusting. Like, what? Let's lighten the mood. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Police. I honestly feel like they should release a statement for that and a public apology, because that was actually disgusting and disgraceful. Now, they're both broken up now, but it seems like the door is not necessarily closed. Scotty says that he hopes that this isn't the end for them. I'm not sure if Arya said the same, but I feel like she wouldn't be totally against getting back together with Scotty, but I hope she doesn't. And I think watching back this clip, seeing the discourse, seeing that her family don't want her to be with Scotty, I think perhaps this could be the push that she needs to, you know, maybe focus on herself or find another partner, because I just don't think Scotty is at the point in life where he can be like a good partner for anybody. They said that they were going to go for therapy. Scotty was resistant to that, which doesn't surprise me. And it still seems like he's resistant to therapy, which he clearly needs. Like he's clearly, you know, got some unresolved issues. So I do hope that he continues going to therapy. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy that they broke up. I'm happy that Arya has no ties to this man. So yeah, wishing her the best, and yeah, stay out of Caleb's business. That's all, darling. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the whole Scotty and Arya situation. Are we surprised that they broke up? Do we feel like they could get back together? What do we think about the whole situation?